dear friends, welcome back again. We are so happy you popped over again to see what we are up to today. Of course, for everyone who is new here, welcome. We are Janny and Dyanne, and we hope you enjoy what you see. And if you do, of course, we hope you take a little bit of inspiration with you. For everyone who is here and is not subscribed to our channel, we hope you will click the red subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and tick the bell so you will be notified every time we upload new DIYs. Like we always say, enough talking, let's jump in today's inspiration. So is he already on the table? I'm ready for a new DIY. What we're going to use, of course, we're going to use our smaller tumbler tile blocks. I have here my container with everything inside. Some markers, brushes, scissors, and of course my Mod Podge. And the most important, of course, is the wood glue. And I use the very simple brand Pattex. You see it backwards, but it is Pattex. It's a very cheap brand wood glue. And of course you also can use some hot glue, but always be careful that it doesn't break. I have here my paint. This is only an example. You can choose any color you like, maybe spray paint, maybe gold, silver, do whatever you think is right. I have here my old saucer with an old piece of kitchen towel to wipe away the glue, which is wet of course. And these are the main pieces we need for this DIY. What we're going to do, we are going to make 2 book stands, but of course with a twist. And maybe for the Christmas season, I still have to debate what I'm going to do. Of course, I can tell you how many blocks I use. So always make sure that you have 4 until 5 packages laying around so you can make every DIY we make. So this is what we need. And of course, let's jump into it. So our first step will be, we're going to make the bottom of both of our book stands. That's where we're going to start with. So it is 4 rows of 7. So 4 rows of 7, and you are going to glue the longest line of the block. And this way, and you just row them very easy together. Of course, you have book stands in all kind of shapes, sizes, purposes. You can use them for anything. We are going to most of the time when we're going to go shop, we're going to shop in Germany, and there is also a TK Maxx. You have a most of you have a TJ Maxx, but here we have a TK Maxx. It's the same, but of course they don't have as much as a lot of you have. It's only a little portion what a lot of you can find. But there are also always beautiful book stands. I always love them. Sometimes in the gold, in the silver, and sometimes it's for with a dog on top. It is always different. Maybe a globe. You can find there everything. So I'm always loving to look for the book stands over there. So I'm going to squeeze them from within. So from the inside to the outside, and then at the end squeeze everything very hard together. And over here, and of course, like a lot of you already know, if you have a carpenter square, just use it if you want to use it. I always do it with my eyes and my fingers, but it's maybe not everyone's cup of tea, so just do whatever you think is right. We are going to go over and we're going to wipe away the glue. And here the same. And always when you wipe away the glue, go back and make sure that you have it still in a straight line. And over here. And we're going to give it a couple of minutes only. So we gave it a couple of minutes. We place one up and this one up. And we're going to do some glue on this side. And we're going to place it against each other. I'm going to turn it around. Make sure that you have it in a straight line. Give it some pressure to fill in the open gaps, but be sure, because you see already mine is going a little out of line on the underside. We do here some glue. On each top we do a little bit of glue. We place it on the side, turn it over, and then gently fill in the open gaps, because you don't want open gaps in between. And if you do it only after 1 until 2 minutes drying, then you can still remove it and just place them nicely together. Now we have for the book stands our 2 bottoms already. And now you see already on the table is the next step. We have 8 rows of 6 blocks. So 8 rows of 6. And also over here we are going to glue the longest line and place it nicely next to each other. And of course, the blocks are not always having the same size. If you have a block which is really going off with the rest, then I recommend just replace it and use it in another DIY, because it's not, for this DIY you need to have the sides nicely together. So if there is one block which is totally offline, I call it offline, but I think you call it much different, but at least which is not fitting nicely in one row, then I would get it out, make it clean with some wet towel and use it for another DIY, because you want to have it at least all of them in the same length, especially because this will be a kind of a little container book stand, so you can also do some organization inside of it, and you can do it with some maybe some greenery, maybe some plants. You can use it in your kitchen, you can use it in your craft room, maybe for your children's room. You can use it for anything. So I only need to do 2 rows of 6, and then we already have our sides of the book stand, and this will be the base. And when we have the base, we go work further and we will see where it will bring us. And the last one, and again we're going to squeeze it from within again, the same like we did with the bottom. Very easy, and you saw already mine is also want to jump up, but it doesn't matter, just place it down again, and if it pops out, don't mind, just place it together again. I had it already so many times that blocks are popping out. You saw it, this one wants to go also, because it is sometimes you already pressing and don't think that the blocks are not still totally on each other. So again, this one, and that's the greatest about tumbling towel blocks. You can make anything you like. Of course, you are sometimes have to get your jigsaw or your handsaw and saw some things out, because you can't do anything with a square. So I'm going to wipe away the glue, and then we're going to let it dry in for a couple of minutes. So I was looking at my sides and I think it needs to go up a little bit more. So I'm going to take 2 blocks, very easy. I'm just going to do some glue on this side and on the tops and place it against here. I do here only the side, and I place it over here. Make sure that everything is fitting nicely together. I do 1 block this way, I do a little on the tops, so like this, place it over here, and I get a loose block, and I'm going to do it only on the side and place it here, squeeze it, make sure that you have a nice straight line. So of course I'm going to do all of them this way, and I think it can, when we do this on the top side, it gives a more high-end look to the base of our book stand. So this is how one side is looking like right now. So you have 6 under and 2 on the top. What we're going to do, we're going to place 1 over here, and we place 1 over here. We get 1 of this one, and we do the side with some glue over here, and this one on the side also, and we place it with the double block on top. This is 1, and we get another one. We do some glue on this side and on this side, and we place this one also against this one, and now we fill it in with this block very gently. Take your time for it, so you get a nice, it's not really a square, it's almost a square. And don't press too hard, because the wood glue is not totally dry yet, but if you do it carefully, just with patience, it will work great. So, and again, make sure that you have the shape you like, then give it a little bit of pressure on the side and on this side, and every time feel with your fingers that nothing is sticking out what you don't want, and then you're going to give it a couple of minutes rest, and so it can settle in a little, and then we're going to do the next one. So now we have 1, we're going to place both of them over here again. We do another one, and we do the same, the glue on the side, over here, and I'm going to place this one against this one. And of course, I'm going to do the last one. And so we have 2 open frames, and place this one over here, and we're going to fill it in with the last one. And again, we can take our time also for this one, and we're going to give it some pressure to make sure that we get the shape we like. And then we're going to give both of them at least 15 minutes drying. So you see the frames of our little crate is already dried up. What we're going to do, we place them on the top, place them upside down, and I call them every time book stands because I thought it is a book stand, but a book stand is of course the frame where you place your cooking book in or something else, but it is book ends. So I'm sorry if I told you wrong again and again, but it is book ends and not stands. But of course, I learn every day. So I'm going to do on the underside, I'm going to do on the inside, I'm going to go over with my glue, and I make my round, and I'm going to place my bottom on top of here. So very gently over here, and give it a little bit of pressure so it stays nicely inside. And this way, this is already one. Now we're going to do the other one and go around, and we place this one also on top very gently, and we're going to give it some pressure again. Over here, feel with your fingers because he's falling a little bit inside of the frame, but because I think you all have, the most of you have the same measurement of blocks that I have, so make sure that you have them inside. Of course, this one needs to come to me a little, or else he's not even, and that's not what we like. Over here and here the same. And now we're going to let this dry in for at least 15 minutes. So in the meantime, while our little crates or containers are drying, we have 4 rows of 8 we are going to glue. So 4 rows of 8, and we just do the longest line again, and we row them easily together. And this way. And of course, I try to do it as fast as I can, but this is a channel where everything is going step by step. So that's why you always see step by step. So again, number 2, and we're going to do this for both of the book ends. So this is for 2 rows of 8, and for the other 2 rows of 8 is for the other book stand of end. Oh, this takes a long time for me to get it out of my system that it is not a book stand but a book end, but I will get there. And we call it boekensteun. So it's a much different word, boekensteun. So it's much different than you have book ends. I think the English is a little bit easier to pronounce that than you do the Dutch version. So again, we're going to squeeze it from within, and we're going to press it together, squeeze it from within, and press it together very gently. Here also, squeeze it from within, and then on the outside, and here the same. I'm going to wipe away the glue, and then we're going to let it dry in for a couple of minutes. So we gave them a couple of minutes, place one on the side, this one on the side, and we're going to do some glue on the tops, and we do here some glue on the tops, and we place them against each other over here, and this one over here. Turn it around and fill in gently the open gaps. Give it a little bit of pressure, and if it goes out of each other, just place them together again because it's so easy to do. And again, fill in the open gaps so you get a nice result. Feel with your fingers on the side. Oh, you see, not the way I do it, because then it goes out of each other. So this way, and we're going to let them dry for at least 10 minutes. So in the meantime, our frames of this one 2 times 8 is drying. we have on our table, also again for both of the book stands, one row of 4 blocks, 4 blocks, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. So 6 blocks of 6 rows of 4. I have to say it right or else you get confused. So 6 rows of 4 blocks, and we row them together very gently. This is also a DIY where we need to glue a lot of blocks on the side. And this one, but we are almost there, don't worry. We are almost there. This DIY you can change up, of course, for every season, because I'm going to try to make kind of an easy windmill for the season. So you can use as a book stand on each and every place you want to use it. And you can change it up for the season. So again, and of course I love windmills, especially decorated with farmhouse style look pieces. So I'm going to do my best to let it look that way also. So again, we're going to squeeze them and over here and the last, and I'm going to wipe away the glue, and we're going to give them a couple of minutes. So we gave it a couple of minutes. We're going to turn them this way, and this way, and this way. And then we're going to do some glue on this side, and we do on this side, and we place 3 of them together until one piece and fill in the open gaps. Make sure that you have a nice straight line on the underside, this way, and you're going to wipe away the glue. You do here the same, place one on the side, and you did this one on the side, and you're going to fill them in also again 3 together until one piece. Feel with your fingers that you have a nice straight line on the underside, because that's what you want. And we're going to wipe away the glue, and we're going to give this also a couple of minutes drying. So in the meantime, while this too is also drying, we're going to do 2 rows of 3, also again for each meal 1. This is 1, and this is number 2. Going to squeeze them again this way, and we do here the same, squeeze them, and we're going to wipe away the glue very easy, and we're going to place them aside also, and then clean up your mat with the glue. What we're going to do now, we're going to make 8 pieces of 2. I hope I can get them over here. I place them this a little bit over here, and 2, and 2, and 2, and again 2, and 2. Now I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have enough, but I only do some glue on the tops, place them together, do some glues on the top, place it together, and here. So you get 8 pieces of 2 eventually, and this one, and this, and the last 2. Of course, I'll make one big mess on my table with the glue, but don't look at that. Just look at the DIY. Don't how messy I am, because I'm always messy with my glue. So again, squeeze it, and squeeze it, and we're going to wipe away the glue and give everything at least 10 minutes drying. So I did wait 10 minutes, and now I'm going to get my first piece, which is the 2 rows of 8 blocks. So we're going to place this down. We get one of the pieces, which is 3 rows of 4 blocks, and we're going to do very easy. We're going to look where we can glue it the best, which is fitting the nicely. So we're going to do some glue on this side over here, and we're going to place this one exactly in the middle, and we're going to wipe away the glue. So this is one, place it over here, and we're going to get the second one of the 2 rows of 8. And we're going to look again with the second one with the 3 rows of 4. We're going to look for if this is fitting nicely, and it really is. It does fit nicely. So we're going to do some glue over here. And we're going to place this one also in the middle to make a perfect fit. And we're going to wipe away the glue again. And we're going to let both of them dry in for at least also 10 minutes again. So the next step what we're going to do, we are going to get 4 loose blocks. So over here we're going to place them a little bit like this. We're going to get our piece 1 of 3. We place this in the middle. We place this a little bit on the side. We're going to get our 4 pieces of 2 for the first top of our mill, and we're going to do some glue over here, and we're going to place this one in this direction. We do here the same, do some glue on the tops over here and just place it over here, kind of this. Don't press it too hard yet because we have to remove it later, maybe in another shape. So we're going to go for this side. You see already we need to go a little bit backwards. This one we need to have in the middle a kind of a square, and we place this one over here, and this one will be against this one. So over here, and we're going to make sure that we get a nice square in the middle over here, pointing this way, and try to get them as even as you can. If you have this, just let it dry in for at least 10 minutes. So if everything is correctly, you have now 2 of the boxes, you have 2 of your top of the mill, and of course you have 2 of these pieces, which we are glued of course later on the back side of our box, but we do that later. First we're going to paint, and I'm going to paint the box in the white, paint the back side in the white, and I'm still debating what I'm going to do with the top. I'm still not know if I do it in totally white or not. I have to see. And of course here will be on top, you can change up for the season. So I placed a piece of my kitchen towel on top of my placemat to be sure that my bookends are not scratching. So I'm going to place one first piece, that is this one. We're going to place over here. I'm going to get one of the little boxes over here, and I will look for which one I like the most on the front side, of course this one. And I'm going to get my wood glue, and I'm going to glue on the back side. On one side I'm going to do some glue, and over here, to be sure that everything glues nicely together. So I'm going to place this on the underside, and if everything is correctly, we have a little piece which is sticking out on this side, and on this side, on each side it sticks out a little bit. Of course we're going to give it some pressure, and we feel with our fingers on the side to be sure that everything is in a straight line. So when we place it straight up, he doesn't wobble. So again, we're going to let this dry in for at least 10 minutes. So now we glue this, of course, our box on top of here, and now we're going to do our wings, of course, on here. So we do some glue on this side, a little on this side, on this side, and on this side. So, and then we're going to place it exactly where we want to have it, and I don't want them too high. So I'm going to try to glue it over here, and we're going to give this also a couple of minutes drying. So now we have our book stand, the first one, and of course I'm going to let it dry later even better. I have here some sticky gum because I want to change it up for the season. For this time I'm doing it for the Christmas, and I'm going to do place inside my later my cooking books. So I'm going my cookbooks, I don't know how you call it, we call it kookboeken. So it's almost similar, but I have here my bag with all my wooden figurines like this. You see already, I have a lot of them. I'm going to go for 2 cute little gingerbread. You see me using them already for a while, but in my kitchen I have my gingerbread. You see, it's simple wooden pieces, and this one is the similar, but of course we also have the girl. And I'm having a star. What I'm going to do with this star, I'm going to place up the red bead over here, and I'm going to cut off the little knot on the ending, and I place another knot also inside, but a little higher, to be sure that we get nice little piece of rope at the ending. So over here, so I'm going to place this one, and I'm going to use a little bit of sticky gum because I want to change it up for the season. You can do for the fall season some mushrooms, some maybe a little gnome. You can do anything you like. So I place this one in the middle over here and just squeeze it a little, and with sticky gum you can easily remove it. So, and I'm going to do the same with my little gingerbread man and little girl, but I'm going to place them on top of here also with some sticky gum, and of course I remove the piece of twine. So, and so you can change it up for your season. You can do it anything you like. In a moment you see the quick impression, and here you see finally a quick impression of my Tumbling Tower Blocks bookends, and I'm so happy how both of them turned out. Of course you can use it for every season. I use it now for the Christmas season for my cookbooks, but you can use it for any season at all. Of course, if you're new here, I hope you enjoy what you saw, and if you do, I hope you will click the red subscribe button, give us a thumbs up and hit the bell, so you will be notified every time we upload new DIYs. For more DIYs, comment over to our description box, there you find the link for our DIY channels. Hope to see you there. Have an amazing day. See you in the next one. Bye.
Something good.